Hey CPS, welcome to the Digital Learning Channel. My name is Matt Bulka. I'm a high school digital innovation leader. And with me today, we have Jere and Matt, who's a CTE teacher at Seneca High School, here to talk to us about Nearpod.
Thanks, Matt. I am excited about this product. Having spent the last 10 years in this arena of education after coming out of nearly 30 years of business leadership, I have found this to be one of the most innovative and creative products in the market today in terms of its ability to help make the job of teaching, learning, and the excitement of fun and anticipation work for students and for teachers alike. So I'd like to, talk a little bit about that today or share some things with you.
That sounds great. Yeah, we know so many of our teachers around the district have tried using some of these engagement tools like Smart Learning Suite Online, Pear Deck, and of course Nearpod. So it's a very popular product, and we're excited to have you here to talk to us about it today.
Okay, well, let me start by just sharing my screen. What I'd like to do from a format standpoint is not to spend a lot of time sharing information that everyone can go online and find, per se. I'd rather demonstrate some of the things and then illustrate for you other things maybe that we've done, some of the data that you can pull from it. I think there are some very, very, very big benefits that are to be derived from this particular platform. And if I could, I'd just like to spend a few minutes looking at some of those things.
That would be great. We're excited. All
right, so I'm going to start by sharing my screen. And I'm going to share my screen. I want to share with you all how easy it is to take an existing deck presentation from PowerPoint or from Google Slides and to, I just blew that, and to incorporate it into a presentation for Nearpod. Okay, so as I get into this particular screen, this is a slide deck that I'm working on right now, and I just kind of started working on something a little bit cute today for the purpose of doing this. And I wanted to show you just how simple it is to take an existing deck and to Nearpodize it. That is a word in the Nearpod lingo, Nearpodize, by clicking on add-ins. Now you'll need to go to add-ins and download this for your particular computer. But once you have your slide deck built or you're in the process of building it, click on add-ins and go find the Nearpod add-in. Once you get that, open the add-ons, excuse me. And what you're going to see is a panel on the right-hand side of the screen come up that will give you a variety of different content or activity functions. Okay, so you can go in and add any number of activities or content. And as we know, content is going to provide you foundational learning, and the activities is going to be a measure of assessment for you. So you'll be able to gauge how well the students are doing. You may go into any given slide and ask a question with something like this Collaborate board. You may refer to this or know of this as the Jam board from some other activities, some other platforms, but this is the Collaborate board for Nearpod, and it's as good as any that I've seen so far. So we enter our topic here, and the topic today is, how do the students feel about Nearpod? And we ask a question, and the student goes in, we select our style, we hit save, and just that simply, we have added an activity into our lesson for that student to learn. We go on in our lesson, perhaps, and we want to ask a question. So we have taken information that we've had in our text. I'm copying this information right from the text. I'm going to go into this activity. And we're going to do a fill in the blank. I simply come in here and I paste, right click and paste the information that I just captured. I go in and select, hit next. I select the words that I want to extract for student learning and ask them to place those questions back into our Nearpod. And just that simply, I have created another activity to engage the students. One of the things that I found most beneficial is that the students feel that they have to be engaged in the learning process, that they're involved in such a way that they're constantly learning. It's one of the greatest testimonies I've seen thus far is the student who tells me your class goes too fast. I mean, we actually do so much so quickly that I don't realize that it's over. Now, once we have done that and we have added some activities, we can start to assess whether or not there's any learning going on, and we can do that through a number of means as well. We have matching pairs, we have question and answer quizzes, we have polls that we can do, and I can show you all of these things, but I wanted to just illustrate here how simple it is to take an existing PowerPoint or Google deck, Google slide deck, go in and integrate Nearpod, or Nearpodize it, as they say, in such a way that it makes it fun for the kids. Here happens to be a Q&A, and so you can go in and put down the question and answer. You put down an answer. You check the box that says this is the correct response, or add another question if you will. You may add images. You can put time on this as well. You can allow the student to do it multiple times, but there's any number of things you can do. So what I want to do here is I'm going to stop sharing this particular part of my screen, come back to Matt for a moment, and I'm going to queue up for you one of my actual class lessons and share some information with you there.
Now that information is great. So you use this with your business students, that's correct, yes?
I do. All of the courses that I currently teach are dual credit courses for the Kentucky Community Technical College System, JCTCS in Louisville. And so we use this platform almost daily.
That's awesome.
Fashion. And my students seem to respond very positively to it. The comments that I receive are great. I feel like I like this platform because it makes me work in the class. It actually breaks down the lesson and helps me learn it. So many students have said it helps me because it takes it into smaller pieces as opposed to, a big a chunk of information. You can put PDFs in PowerPoint that will help you to guide students to reading. You can put material in that will provide for writing, written assignments that we have to assess their performance as well. But the variety in a holistic sense. I mean, there's some other great products out there, Matt. Pear Deck is great. There's Poll Everywhere, Desmos. There's a lot of things out there, but I don't find anything that's as complete and holistic. Each of them has some component that is in fact embedded in the Nearpod platform, but none of them have the complete platform that this particular product seems to offer. And that's
you're absolutely correct there. And Nearpod also has a partnership with Flocabulary, which we know a lot of teachers appreciate. They have the ability to embed virtual reality and PhET simulations. So even beyond the CTE classroom, there's so many just wonderful applications and activities and tools that Nearpod offers, in addition to a gigantic library with other pre-built and pre-made lessons from Nearpod themselves and other educators as well.
I understand there's about 8,500 or nearly 9,000 pre-recorded classes that are in science and math and English and social studies and history and any number of different subject matters that can be accessed at any time. This, again, one of the beautiful things about this platform is that those are pre-made. You can actually go in, copy that entire deck and then edit it and modify it to your needs. This is no different than taking a Quizzes or a Kahoot or Quizlet, which I'm sure many teachers are familiar with, and altering it and editing it so that it fits the need that you have, but taking the pre-existing product and taking advantage of what it offers. So it's really neat in that regard. So what I want to do, I'm going to share my screen with you again here, and I'd like to show you how the other wonderful benefit I find is the data that you're able to derive from this particular platform. And if you're a data-driven school, then it's really important to you that you are able to understand what your students have or are doing and how they're doing it. So, again, once you go on to the Nearpod website, you can see all of the things that you've probably heard from one place or another about creating a deck and how to access things. I happen to have the ability to look at my reports. And my reports here are able to provide me with insight on how my student engagement was, and I can do that by class and by course. So as an example, I see here all of the different decks that have been created. I see that there have been, as an example, we'll go to parts of the computer. In the parts of the computer, I have had 4 classes, which I teach. And then there's one that has the home here indicating that these were student-led. So these are students that did not come to virtual school, Matt, but they were able to go in and to learn from the student-led lesson, which is identical to the lesson that I provided in class, except I'm not there to provide it. And they were able to go in. So I'm able to open this up as an example.
And as we're opening that, that's one of the really powerful parts of Nearpod is you can do synchronous and asynchronous with the exact same lesson. You don't have to change anything else. And as we see more and more possibilities and opportunities for our students to be either in person or virtual or some combination of those two, that's just brilliant to have those options.
Absolutely. And again, we go into this and we get some data. What happened in this class? Mr. Minter, what did you guys do? Well, we had a quiz, we did matching pairs, we had a collaboration board, and we had interactive video, all involved or embedded into this particular PowerPoint. So how do I assess what the students did? I simply go down to the bottom of the screen here, and it will tell me that in this particular case, student number 1 did not do the quiz. He did do the matching pair. He did not participate in this case in the multiple choice, and his participation rate for the day was here. If we move down, and now this could have been, and I've had this happen a number of occasions, students who have technical connection issues, but it will show you here is that you can use as an assessment. Yeah, and it looks like in this particular case, based on a number of zeros, these are connection issues where the student wasn't able to get in and stay in or stay connected. But as an example, here on the 20th line, here's a student who went in. I see the IP address. I can see that she had a 90 on the quiz. She did 100% on the matching pairs. Her collaboration board she participated in, and she listened to the entire video. So there's some data that I can pull. Let me get to another class. And let's look at my 4th period class as an example. So I'll open this up. And these were the students that were in school. Same thing that you saw then, same class. Quiz, matching pairs, collaboration board or collaborate board, and interactive video. So I come down here to look at the data, and here are the participants that were active in class with me. And as you can see, I can see quiz scores. I can see matching pairs. How many of them participated and what level? Multiple choice questions. How did they do? And then the overall participation level. So this is very, important data for us to be able to assess the involvement of the student and more importantly, it's something that we can always share with a parent if necessary. So that's just one of the other wonderful things that I love about this product, is being able to go back and to receive the data that helps drive the activities and the engagement and the assessments that we use in class.
Yeah, no, that data point is huge, and to have that data point where you can have a touch point with a parent or a family member and say, hey, you know, they're usually at around 90% participation. They've been around 20 the past couple of weeks. Is something wrong? Is there something that I can do to help them out? And to have just all those different data points is incredible.
Yeah. Again, the variety of things that that this platform does is what creates the level of interest that I have in it. It is compatible with most of the many products that are out there today. It works with any learning management system that we currently have out in the market, and it's just growing each and every day. They're now working on the next generation, which is due to come out this fall, and I understand that they're going to be able to have a platform there where you can have dual instructors. So right now I have the ability to create my own platform or my own teaching, but I can't share that. You know, in the future, I may be able to have you collaborate with me in a class at the same time, and provide ongoing, you know, information and insight in that particular class. So that's really, really neat. The other thing that I really want to stress here and point out is that this platform also has recently opened up Microsoft Immersive Reader. It's available. So anything that you put into your PowerPoint that is derived from a foundation of information, like I'm pulling a lot of my information from texts that's in books, and then creating it in a Nearpod or a PowerPoint slide, just as I would if I were in class. It will read it for them. It will also, it has various language interpretations that will do. So the audio benefits that this is offering, again, are way beyond those things that I'm seeing with other products of its sort. So I'm really, really tickled with the product.
Yeah, and that's great to have that differentiation and that support for our kids who do speak other languages or perform better if they have a reader. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
now, Jere, you're Nearpod certified. Is that correct? Can you kind of talk about what that is like?
I have I've been fortunate actually through the next generation or next gen personal finance organization out of Palo Alto, California. Over the last, since COVID started, since March of last year, I had probably logged somewhere in the neighborhood, embarrassingly, of about 350 hours of professional development in learning and being certified in a various number of different categories of personal finance education for kids. And as a result, I was granted a Nearpod license for 3 years. And one of the requirements to receive the license was demonstration of your ability to use the product, and that provided a certification through Nearpod. So yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful gift. In fact, I've shared that with others in the district, and I'm not alone. There are others who have been granted a license with Nearpod, and that license is at the district level. So I should probably put that in, that some of the tools that you see, some of the benefits do come at the highest level with Nearpod, and those prices are on the website. They vary from school to school or state to state, I guess, or excuse me, from program to program. So if you gold, silver, platinum, what have you, but yeah, if you can get to the highest level, it's a phenomenal gift. It really is.
Yes. Well, that's incredible. Do you have any advice for CTE teachers, just teachers in general, who are trying to use Nearpod for the first time with their students to increase that engagement and formative assessment?
Well, I want to do two things. One, my name is jere.minter, and I'm at the same address everybody else is. I want to not only encourage you, but I'm here to support you, okay? And I'm more than willing to do that. I am so enamored with this product and how functionality and how simple it is, that if we can spend one session together, I can assure you that you'll be in a position to yearn for this as a learning model for your students, just like I do for mine. I sit, now with a laptop in my in my lap at the end of every day, listening to the news, doing Nearpods. I mean, it's like, how can I do something else fun? I really just love the engagement of the kids. And when you can get them to want to do something and they want to be in your class, you know, and I'm getting good numbers of students even right now during the virtual learning that are coming to class and they're telling me, I'm here, you know, in your class, but I'm just getting up and it's 1 o'clock. And I'm like, well, school started at 9. Why aren't you in? Well, I don't, yeah, you know. And so the more that I see students, the more that they engage, I'm feeling like a lot of the product is the benefit, you know, of what they're coming for. It's not just about me. It's about what they're learning and about how we're doing it. So this could be, some of this material that I teach could be really, really dry. You know, it could be really dry. And I think that's where I found most of the benefit from Nearpod, is that I've been able to get engagement, fun, activity, and the kids are learning in the process. So yeah, anybody in the CTE community or anywhere else for that matter, but anybody particularly in CTE that wants to spend any time with me, reach out to me. Please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to offer anything that I have and all that I have to help you. But I think that as things move forward, you know, if the opportunity is there to get this product, take the opportunity and let me help you, you know, capture what you can out of it.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Very cool.
All right, everybody. Well, this was such an amazing session. I hope you learned something about Nearpod that you can take back to your CTE and business classes with you. Mr. Minter, thank you so much for spreading this wealth of knowledge with us and the rest of our district and anybody who watches this video.
Matt, it was my pleasure. I appreciate you and I appreciate the district and what we're doing. Anything that I can do to help along the way, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, we will have our contact information in the details of this video. So look for that if you want to reach out and learn more about Nearpod from either of us. So thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot.